Alright. Maybe we can go find her more books sometime. Shoes. Where's the shopkeeper? I could steal a pair and run off in them. Perhaps they are so badly made they would trip you up. Half these stalls don't have merchants. Aren't they worried about thieves? Perhaps these people are rich enough to be honest. Or perhaps the punishment for stealing is extreme. Those are two potential Star Trek interpretations of what's going on here. Bread. Smells good. It must be fresh. I cannot imagine how it smells. It is made from moldering flowers, is that correct? I don't think so, no. And I'm trying to think about bread. There is flour and yeast. Best not to go wandering off. This is a big moon. As opposed to everywhere else I'm going, which is also wandering. A cook. Hungry 6. Hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Baskets. Woven from grass. There's a lot like the one. They're a lot like the ones Rembo was using. Maybe he came out here. One basket looks the same as another to me, mistress. I mean, those mostly do look literally similar, so... I guess I can't argue too hard on that one. Ah, she had a dialogue prompt and she ran away from me. I feel so scandalized. Berries. And other fruits. Amazing all these fruit sellers don't end up fighting each other. Quite possibly they do. Jars for water. Or oil, perhaps. Bathing oils. They seem to sell everything here. Look in here. Those are lizards, aren't they? Yeah, there's the robots up there. Gecko! Old colors. Want to buy a lizard 6? Why would I want to buy a lizard? You never know when you might need a lizard. Indeed, mistress. I will note this location should I encounter a lizard-requiring event. You are so quirky and lol random, mistress. You sell lizards? Buy Gecko? Fine as Gecko. It climbs walls. Can reach hard-to-reach places. How much does one cost? 33. 33 what? 33. Good age for a lizard. Gecko now or Gecko later? Six, I'm going to buy a Gecko. It'll solve puzzles for me. I will not carry it, mistress. Don't be a kumquat, Fist 6. See, it wasn't an insult. You'll like it. You two will be friends. You can bicker about me behind my back. I am not having a gecko clambering around inside my lower drawers. Gecko? Gecko now, please. Good choice. Only choice? Let's see what you're offering. I prefer ancient and mysterious things. What? Are you used to finding something ancient and mysterious? The brass box? How about this? Well, it's not the best piece, but it's not enough. Do people normally find... what? Brass spherical device. I think I want to hold on to that one. It might do something. With this too? I've seen worse, I suppose. Done. We'll have to choose a name. Why not call it 7, mistress? You're annoyed. I fear we have been sidetracked. How about... Sticky. He looks like a bit like a stick. Very good, but mistress... I think your gecko has escaped. Very possible. Gecko's very quick. It just ran off? Good, fast gecko, very healthy. You want more gecko? This time you hold it tight by the neck. You didn't tell me that before. I think you know how gecko work. Gecko very hard to catch. My job catching geckos very hard. Tell me, do you know a man named Amadou? Gecko called Elenara, my mother's name. I don't want a gecko, but my robot does. My mistress is attempting humor. Not robot gecko, live gecko. Gecko very practical. Very clean. No bathing. But what is it used for? Gecko eats flies. You snaffled gecko, good price, good legs. But you don't know Amadou? I was told his tent is above yours. Everyone knows Amadou. Amadou does not buy geckos. I don't know where.
A fat man with a scarf flashed a cheeky smile at me as he walked away.
You think everyone here is like that? It would seem improbable. Surely they would have all starved. Well, she was a lot. Strong arms you through the whole... Oh, I can take the stairs and you take the ramp. Wheelchair access. I suppose you think the gecko might know the whereabouts of a lost palace. It might be descended from a great king gecko of yesteryear. This looks interesting. He's so annoyed with me. He's so annoyed with me about the gecko thing. I don't know, man. I just had a chance to get a gecko and it sounded like it'd be fun. I want to get a gecko and I don't know. Every time I trade anything, I get nervous about trading because I'm like, am I screwing myself up by losing these items? Are the fact that you choose and they're all specific relics you found in specific places, and it's like, what if one of these does something or you need it later, like the telescope or the weird twisty thing we're trying to find the source of? I don't know. But also, like, it's she doesn't have money. For a rich person, or a person from a rich planet, she doesn't have any actual currency as far as we can tell, and they probably wouldn't take it here anyway, but she doesn't have currency anywhere. She just has relics. That's all she has. Who are you? You're Amadou? What do you want? I was told you could help me. You want a servo? Are you buying? You got one already. These old robots are servos? The very finest. Why don't you tell me why you're here? I'm looking for some information. The observatory, then. You're after the observatory. And what makes you say that? The last fool of a sailor I came across. And he was a fool. I mentioned the observatory and his ears pricked up like a kitten's. It was like he'd sat on a pin. And who was that? I have no idea. Some ratty little man dressed like a king. He all but lost his teeth at the mention of an observatory. Was his name Renba? I didn't ask his name. I just salted his dish and salted it again. He ate it up, like a hungry dog. It passed the time. The observatory is just a ruin. Is that so? Are you sure? Why don't you tell me where it is, so I can go? Why don't I? A shimmering idea. Perhaps I could throw in a servo into the bargain. What do you think? I'm only asking for information. Information is an asset. All right then, what do you want? That is a fine-looking robot you have. You can't have my robot. Well then, mistress. It speaks. Wonderful. Well then, mistress. I pity you do not really want to find the observatory. I want to know what you have before I agree to anything. How old is the observatory? What state is it in? Let me tell you about the observatory. I've walked its corridors, seen ancient machines. It is built on 3 levels, each is circular, each wider than the one above. So it looks like it must topple from the sky, and yet it stands. But perhaps that is enough for you. That's not enough. I disagree, fine lady. Now we discuss a price. I don't like your terms. I could tell you about the corridors of glass. The machines like gigantic servos buried deep below the crust. Are you sure you won't trade? I won't trade. So be it. And so the observatory is lost once more. I'll find it myself. Very well. But if you ever find a servo, think of poor Amadou, his business drying up by the day. Mistress, what just happened? Shh. Just leave it.
The size of this place was nothing compared to Elbereth. But it was more packed with life. More colour, more people, more business, more hope.
Is he flabbergasted that I didn't trade him away for profit when given the opportunity? Is that what he's struggling with right now? Either I'm about to find an insane place on this planet eventually, or he was lying in that story. Because he said some wild stuff there. But either way, we gotta... I don't have a spare servo lying around, I don't think. Trying to remember if I ever heard of one, but I don't think I have. This one woman you can talk to keeps running away from me. Please, one moment, but are you a local here? I've lived here all my life. Good faith to you. Cool. I guess no more questions. Gecko, fine Gecko. Excuse me again. Hello again. I didn't tell you my name before. I'm Aliya. Mina. I bought a gecko, but it ran away. Why'd you buy a gecko? I was trying to buy information, but the seller didn't seem to know anything. Anything at all, really. Do you know Amadou, the servo dealer? Yes, I do. Why? Do you think I could trick him? Pretend to sell him my robot to get some information. I don't think that would work. He's my father. Excuse me. I want to get on with my book. I have to go back to work soon. I like her. Mistress. Well, this has all of the telegraphing that's a character we're going to deal with more in the future. It's probably correct that in the other, as akin to the other options, that he's not ours to sell to begin with. He does belong to Miari, so like if you try to sell him, I guess she asked her to sell other ones in the past though, right? I'd like an apple. Of course. I prefer jewelry and gold. You want to trade jewelry for fruit? Jewelry is very good for trading, good lady. So is fruit. I don't have anything for you. A pity. But I really must get myself another customer. I don't think I should trade the brooch that this whole adventure started with, which I think is what that one is. But I think we're done with this planet for now. But if I can find a servo, then I can trade it. And so we left the surface of Renaki, the market moon. Hope things are going alright for those guys. Aboard the Nightingale. We returned to the ship and sprang up into the water. We should sail to Iox. Iox. I switch constantly, I can't keep them straight. I was thinking about that boat that Remba found. Found a fragment of anyway. The Empire never used ships that large. And it was too old, too long buried. You have never seen a ship like it. That's a good song playing. This changes our history, Six. There must have been a whole age before the Empire, when ships like great whales crawled the rivers, carrying things from one moon to another. Trading, mistress? Most likely. An age of sail. Before the Empire was founded. Before the Empire locked down the Nebula. So the Empire prevented people from sailing around as much, and then after that we hit some period of time where where now I guess now people have ideologies built around the idea that you shouldn't do that. They got like used to the idea. So we could return the figure to its owners. That'd be interesting. The stuff does worry me. I'm always like, what if I had traded that? Did I have a chance to trade that? What if I traded the wrong thing? Or are quest items separated from...
We set course once more for Mayorzi. I found myself looking forward to it. It was a good place, despite the people. It was everything Elbereth could have been.
Right. You see Mayorzi as an upgrade over Elbereth. I mean, both have been mistreated by your society. The route goes left up ahead, mistress. I kind of wanted to fast travel this time. I just was traveling pretty recently, but I didn't know how. Yeah, I don't know how to fast travel in this game. Here's what I don't understand, Six. The boat, buried under the dust of that moon near Elbereth. How did Remba know it was there? Right, it was established that the water moves fastest near the middle, like in a real stream. Oh, what was up with this? A very good question, mistress. The structure is barely intact, mistress. There is nothing here to find. Oh, never mind. I got a prompt this time. Yeah, right. That's the nuance to this gameplay, besides just getting the right turns, is that you'll get your destination faster if you can hug the middle of the stream better. Look out there, 6. Evidently, it is indeed beautiful, mistress. That painted background. It's funny, I kind of want to look at it more, because honestly, the backgrounds are pretty good, except for when they're glitching out a bit, but like, I guess I'm distracted just driving. Perhaps the one telescope found by Renba led to the other, mistress. Perhaps the telescopes are also communicate with each other. I'm incentivized to stay on the path and steer and all that, which means I just look at the stream effect and not the background much. But as we have no such telescopes ourselves, there is very little we can do. You should go left, mistress. Ooh. What is this over here? I have finished my consideration of the stone and the statues, mistress. I believe I have a rough location for where the statues were constructed. How old? I believe the statues were carved in deep antiquity. Perhaps more than 1,500 years ago. A ruin. I would guess it dates from the earliest days of the Nebula, mistress. I will investigate, mistress.
Hoppered away, and I was alone. Then it came back.
I recovered a piece of a book covered in algebraic characters. It must have come from somewhere nearby. And here's something printed on the cover. Here we go. I was wondering why we're sitting for so long with that other conversation. This is stained and illegible. So I guess it was just waiting for the other conversation to play out so it could then react to the ruins that I had found. So you can just kind of find these around, it looks like. That goes there. Is that it? I can add my translation for again to my dictionary now. So I guess we just hit enough instances of things making sense, and then we just like, yep, that must be it. Confirm that. Well, if that's goddess, then this means place for goddesses, so it's temple. Or cities? I don't know. Stars. Temples will open again, or temples will prosper again. Let's see, the squiggle I applied as being enter, light, but with commas. Prosper is a word that would come up that could be close to light And positivity, I guess. Does temples will prosper again work? I could sail forever. Interesting, mistress. Could you sail forever, or would you run out of sky? Oop. Which one is faster? Don't really seem to have different speeds. Well, leaning right preemptively to get on the right path really almost stops you because you're so close to the edge. Mistress, did you really sell 3 on Elbereth? I did sell 3. So you'd better watch yourself, 6. Keeping the threat alive. Whoa. Take the next right shortly, mistress. That was a really cool landscape. They gave me the briefest chance to look at it directly by sweeping the camera like that. How old is the nightingale, mistress? I'm not sure. Nearly 1,500 years old, maybe? I hope they want the statue back. That was a weird cut. I wasn't very close to that spot, and then it just kind of swooped over there, surprisingly. Maybe they want their figurine back.
The soft, wet wind of Maerzi hadn't seemed gentle before. I could see it now. Maybe Remba really had liked this place.
It's definitely her, isn't it? Definitely. The quality of the carving is poor, but there are unmistakable details. Do people from Mercy sail, then? Did they live on that hideout moon? Or did Remba take the statue with him and leave it there? It is unlikely they sail, mistress. Moons in the Protectorate are mostly without boats of their own. And apparently boats are old.
Figurine with me, in my bag, wrapped up safely in a cloth.
Let's return this thing and get back home. I am sure the people here will be most grateful for the return of their statue. For some reason or other. I'm feeling a lot of sarcasm directed at me for doing this.
Everything on Maerzi was as we'd left it. The flowers still bloomed. The water still bubbled.
Greetings once more, stranger. Tell us quickly, did you find your man? I found the remains of his ship. The fire in the sky. I am sorry for your loss. Do you know what he was doing out there? No. He visited us for a time, and then he left. He did not say his proper farewells. What do you mean by that? It is best left well alone, I think. I'm here about something else. I brought you something. Gibenya. Where did you find this? On a distant moon, by a ruined house. In the middle of a hurricane. This is a hermit's effigy, given to a hermit when they go out alone, to remind them of the place that gave them birth. See, here. She opens. I was really worried it was going to be like, that's a grave marker. You've desecrated a grave or something. It's going to be really grim, but it's like it's a thing that's helpful to somebody when they're gone, but this person's probably dead, so its purpose is probably expired. She opens. Do you see inside? Oh my goodness. This is one phrase run together. First time a word is repeated. Waters something us and something us. Hold near, divide, join. Waters divide us and join us. Illuminate. Heal us and illuminate. If it's for somebody that leaves, I'm guessing it's divide here, and the other ones might be join. Waters divide us and join us? Impressive. Can you read it? A child could. This word, to separate. And this, to connect. Waters separate and connect us. Yeah, we actually have an authority for once. Living memory. This is such a huge divide from the rest of the game, is that we have a living memory to compare our guesses to. These people didn't lose their history. They're connected to it. Thank you. We will put Gibenya back in the well shrine. She prefers the damp. She has been on a long journey, I think. Wait, something fell out. It's here, in the grass. Some kind of foil. It is quite evident, mistress. That is a rebesque foil. What's a rebesque foil? You have never seen the internals of a robot, then? I have, but it wasn't labeled. Oh, my. A arabesque foil is a small scrap of metal inscribed with enormous detail, like one of your fingerprints or a hard drive. The foil is yours if you want it, Eoxian. I hope you find it of value. Good faith to you, good lady. Hey, I have somewhat repaired my reputation here, maybe. So did Renba hide the arabesque foil inside the Mercian statue? He left it on that rocky moon to be found, and sent the brooch to Miari to lead her on a trail to find it. And maybe it's connected to the last Emperor's body. But maybe it isn't. But if that was Renba's plan, mistress, why not simply send the foil? We need to find out what's on this foil. Elbereth, then. A touching scene, mistress. Let's get out of here. This way, mistress. And so we leave the surface of Mercy, the farming moon. Well, alrighty, I guess we've got two different reasons to go back to Elbereth now. Because we still have the question of whether or not she has news for us about what we left with her. So we can check on two things at once. The foil, mistress. I do not immediately recognize where it was produced. Can you track it down? I will triangulate the origin of the foil as best as I can, mistress. I'm going to rest 6. Very good, mistress. Where shall I take her? Back to Iox, perhaps? Back to Elbereth. Yes, mistress. At this rate, he's gonna drive me to Iox out of spite to complete his orders as I continue to not go back. I could show the dual crystal to Oroi. That's a third thing I can do then. I hate this place. Did she say that? Or did he say that? Why don't you like this place? Kibenya. Devejo sale catality. We are now somewhat higher up than we were, mistress. Of course we are. We're inside the Citadel. Why has he got an angry face? Why do you have an angry face? And what, is he surprised by a thing that we knew? We've already been here before. I wonder with Toppy if I'll ever have to like trade back for something or not. We should check in on Oroi. She must have finished with the crown by now. Assuming she has not sold it and moved away. Oroi's yard's this way. So little faith in Oroi. Our good pal Oroi, who loves us so much and definitely doesn't hate us.
The market never seemed to stop.
Yes. Why don't your laborers escape? Don't be so disgusting. They aren't captives. Besides, where would they go? This prison's a little terrifying. In here. They may not be chained, but I get the feeling that they have no other way to survive around here. They're economic captives, and she knows that she has control over them. I hope your friend is still here, mistress. We just have to politely wait for a while. So politely and quietly. Ah, Aliya. Good. Quickly, come in. That thing you brought in. What did you make of it? First things first. Where did you find it? How? A box on an empty moon. Of all the boxes you could open. The real puzzle is how did it get where it was? The place looked like someone had been living there. Wasn't the Emperor sent into exile when the Empire fell? Don't tell me you found where they sent him. He wasn't around to ask. I think maybe you did. You ever hear of the Great Forge? A moon used in the early Empire for crafting complex devices. Never seen anything so obviously made there before. Did you say devices? I think this sort of thing was common in the Holy Empire. Things people wore, things they carried, they were all functional, active. But did you find out what the crown does? No. I have no idea. I didn't try to turn it on. But you could? Are you serious? It's hundreds of years old. I mean, perhaps if I knew what it was powered by. But if I put the wrong amount of flow through it, I'll smoke the foil. I don't think we'd stay friends. This forge, Arroy. Is it real? Not just a myth? It must have been real and huge, employing hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Where? I have no idea. You're the archaeologist. But you could try. See what happens? You don't mind the risk? I'll most likely burn it out. You think that's likely? It's possible. So do it carefully. Great, no pressure then. Are you sure? Seriously. I might well set it on fire. I'm touched you'd trust me, Aliya. Why wouldn't I trust you? Trust hasn't always been our best thing. But I'll see what I can do. I'll try low flows and work up. I'll see what I can do. I found a strange shard of crystal. I thought you might be able to tell me what it is. I'm a technic, not a mystic healer. So I don't know. Rest it on your belly and see if it helps you break wind. I think it's a little more than that. Oh, yes? You've got my interest. I'll take a look. I'll do it tonight, maybe. Thank you, Oroi. And I found a rubesque foil hidden in a statuette. An old one. Hidden there by someone. You can't get much from a foil on its own. They all work in different ways, depending on where and how they were made. Can you tell where this one was made? I doubt it. You're the archaeologist. It's quite something. Too delicate for Empire work. This is either ancient, or was made in an ancient way. In the Empire, they carved these things by hand. They were useless. The ancients were better at making foils? Better than the Empire? Of course. How do you think they made so many robots? Empire foils can barely store a picture. New location? Still, it's good to see you're in one piece. Why wouldn't I be? You don't need to pretend to me, Aliya. I know the strain you put on yourself. I'm fine. Sure you are. Except when you run and start coughing up fluid. Mistress, there's something I should know. Oroi's fast, that's all. You used to be. Just take care of yourself, alright? Sheer lung doesn't just go away. Oh! We have a specific illness. That meter spiking up so rapidly is not just a throwaway detail of, oh, the game was a stamina thing for a bit. It's like our character very specifically has a disability that she seemingly gained at some point, and she's stuck with it. I think it's asthma, actually. I think it's just asthma. Sheer lung. I should let you work. You should. How's business? Still slow. Don't be a stranger, Aliya Elasra. Sheer lung. When they mentioned coughing up fluid for just a second there, I was like, does she... Is she a robot? Just for a moment, I was curious what the hell I'm supposed to think about that. But it's probably asthma. We have collected initial evidence of a new location on the early Empire period moon. Should we leave now, mistress? Do it. Stand still, mistress. And so we left the surface of Elbereth. With rumors of an undiscovered site, the earlier Empire period moon. Whenever there's only like one word on the next line, I always think, ah, you could have just line broke sooner and it would have been nice and centered looking with even lines. I always want the two lines to be about the same length when I can make it happen. I wonder if the Empire created the belief and the idea that history is so circular and they are eternal, essentially. There was like a dark period and then they essentially... Let's see. No. Yeah, you do have to travel manually in this game. Gotcha. It is specifically Elbereth and Iox that you can travel to through fast travel. Yeah, maybe they created this belief in time being circular so that time loops around their own history in order to essentially reduce the impact and historical significance of stuff like, you know, the actual empire, the ancients doing all the actual advancement. Mistress? Some people believe sailing is bad for the soul. I can't understand why. They believe the rivers are where souls go after death, mistress. To visit them early is to invite death. Is that what the lights out there are? Souls? It hardly seems likely, mistress. But how can you be sure? When humans die, mistress, do rivers come out of them? I don't know if that's the most scientific way to conclude that thought, but okay. Is that my gecko? 6, look, the gecko came with us. I am aware. How did the gecko come with us? I do not wish to talk about it, mistress. Was it inside of him? Did it hitch a ride? He's not happy about that.